RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, passed away on Friday night. So, of course, the battle immediately began. I mean, let's take a minute and, maybe you honor her life, because certainly liberals love her. I mean, pretty much everybody, I think, has respect for Ruth Bader Ginsburg because she took a stand on a lot of different things. And if you go back to the movies, they thought she was an actual feminist crusader throughout her entire life. Now, I disagreed with her strongly as to the way she conducted herself as a Supreme Court justice. But, you pay credit where credit is due. And she did do incredible things during her life. So the left can't even stop and take a minute and say, wow, that's really sad. Our thoughts and prayers are with her family. No. Instead, it's all threats and talking about burning the country down. We're going to burn the entire thing down if a nomination is made before the election cycle. Wow, really? All right. Maybe we should have the law enforcement agencies show up at your door and just check into your terrorist threats. I don't know. I'm just saying. That doesn't seem like a thing you just let roll off our backs, because we've seen that they really mean it. These Marxists, these leftists really mean it. They're trying to burn the country down. Here's yet another excuse for them. And of course, the hypocrisy of the GOP. That's really all CNN's talking about this morning, because they're talking about immediately nominating somebody and then going through the process of the vote in the Senate during a presidential election year, which they had no problem with last time, if you remember correctly. But it's only the GOP that they're going to recognize. Of course, they're saying the opposite thing this time. Both parties do that. They do it every single time on every single issue. Yes, they flip-flopped on whether or not you should nominate a Supreme Court justice in an election year. Yep. What a surprise, right? Because the Democrats have done this a billion times. But here is the moment where President Trump, was he getting off a plane or going on?
I think
he
was leaving. He was in Bemidji, Minnesota, leaving an event, getting onto an airplane when a reporter first informed him.
And here's what he said.
We did not add the music. It is way in the background at the stage.
She just died? Wow. I didn't know that. I just, you're telling me now for the first time. She led an amazing life. What else can you say? She was an amazing woman. Whether you agreed or not, she was an amazing woman who led an amazing life. I'm actually sad to hear that. I am sad to hear that. Thank you very much.
And then he walks off.
What an appropriate and presidential response.
Sure was.
That is fantastic. He gave them nothing right there to jump all over him about. And they were hoping for it. They were hoping he was going to launch into something about, her liberalism, or now we get a chance to fix the court. None of that stuff. None of it.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
That was almost like a scene from a movie. The way the lighting from behind him.
Then the tiny dancer from Elton John playing in the background. It's weird.
And that was his gut response right there.
Yep.
He had no time to prepare anything.
You saw his reaction in real time.
And he was genuine.
And he was great. Mm-hmm. Then Saturday morning, President Trump tweeted this. GOP, we were put in this position of power and importance to make decisions for the people who so proudly elected us, the most important of which has long been considered to be the selection of United States Supreme Court justices. We have this obligation without delay. Yeah. I mean, that's not what we were saying in 2016.
For almost an entire year.
But we're saying it now.
It's a no-win situation for Trump, right?
It is, yeah.
Because if he doesn't fill this, then people are going to look at this. It's going to be spun by the media as you got to keep the court balanced.
Yeah.
Right? We got to elect Biden to keep the court balanced the way, fill a liberal with a liberal.
Nope.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean,
nope.
And the GOP in Washington, D.C. has no spine whatsoever, but
None.
Trump gives them that.
But
it's amazing.
Wouldn't it be great if Ted Cruz is the nominee? I think Ted Cruz would make a great Supreme Court justice.
So how would he vote for confirmation? Because you're going to need that vote. You've already lost 2 Republican
That's
senators.
true.
You're down to 51.
That's
you can
true.
only lose 1 more.
Wow. And you can't wait till after the election to have the vote, because holding the Senate is really up in the air right now. We don't know they're going to. So this is a really critical time. And of course, as we notice the right hypocrisy on this, there's also hypocrisy from the left, because they were dead set against waiting until after the election last time this happened. But now, you must wait, or we're gonna burn the country down. I don't remember any Republicans saying that in 2016. They are despicable. Here's just a typical reaction from the left.
Oh no!
From this sweet cheeks.
You guys, I'm driving in a car, but I just got a notification that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died.
What?
Could this year get any worse?
Yes, don't ask that question again, Puddin'.
You just had to make it to 2021.
Pause it for a second. So is she blaming Ruth Bader Ginsburg for dying?
Yeah. Yeah. You just had to make it to 2021.
You only had to make it another few months. That is inconsiderate of her to have died at a very inconvenient time for the Democrats. How dare she? Wow, what a lot of nerve she has. All right, let's see the rest of this.
I think that might have been it.
Oh, was that it?
I think it just ends with her screaming hysterically. In fact, that's kind of what I sounded like Sunday afternoon watching the Falcons, but I digress. So anyhow, that was the initial reaction by the left on social media on Friday night.
Yeah, and I mean they were making terrorist threats all weekend long, talking about burning down the country. If they nominate somebody before the election and have a vote on it, we're going to burn this whole thing down, is what was said multiple times.
And you know how the media is going to spin Trump appointing someone, nominating someone, whether this person gets through or not. But I think he is willing. I genuinely think that he's willing to sacrifice re-election to fill this vacancy, to make his mark on the court. 1/3 of the justices would be his. And he might even want to make good on Kavanaugh at this point. Who knows? So I don't know.
Here's what Lindsey Graham had to say in 2016 about the situation when we were in a very, very similar situation.
This is the last year of a lame duck president. And if Ted Cruz or Donald Trump get to be president, they've all asked us not to confirm or take up a selection by President Obama.
Okay.
So if a vacancy occurs in their last year of their first term, guess what?
What?
You will use their words against them.
Oh.
I want you to use my words against me.
Oh,
If there's a Republican president in 2016 and a vacancy occurs in the last year of the first term, you can say, Lindsey Graham said, let's let the next president, whoever it might be, make that nomination, and you could use my words against me, and you'd be absolutely right.
Uh-oh. So that was
Oopsie-daisies.
the big commercial PSA there of the left over the weekend.
And immediately they've got that going. Wow.
Just too many words, Lindsey.
Huh. Well, okay, there's admittedly a little bit of hypocrisy or inconsistency.
And he said it's different. No, I meant if it's a different party, and I think that's what people are saying that Mitch McConnell was saying back then. If the presidency and the Senate are two different parties, then you don't pick this fight. Whatever. Okay.
That's a nice
nice
spin on that. But maybe the 2020 Democrats should listen to what the 2016 Democrats had to say about filling the seat.
Okay.
The American people deserve a fully staffed court of 9.
The president nominates, and then the Senate advises and consents or not. but they go forward with the process.
What we're seeing here, and I hope this is temporary, is a disrespect for the Constitution.
The Constitution is 100% clear. The President of the United States has the right to nominate someone to be a justice of the Supreme Court. Senate's function is to hold hearings and to vote.
The blockade on filling a naturally occurring vacancy, in my view, is harmful to the independence of the Article III branch.
You cannot keep a seat on the Supreme Court, which represents all of us. You cannot keep it vacant against the Constitution.
Do pretty much everything they can to avoid acknowledging the legitimacy of our democratically elected president.
The American people expect the president's nominee to be given a fair hearing and a timely vote in the Senate.
Every day that goes by without a ninth justice is another day the American people's business is not getting done.
I say to you, do your job. Vote for a Supreme Court nominee.
Right. Instead of just saying the blanket rule is no matter who you are, no matter what your qualifications, because you were sent by this president, we will create a unique rule for you and refuse to entertain you.
One of the most important consequences of who is president of the United States is who sits on the United States Supreme Court.
If you want to stop extremism in your party, you can start by showing the American people that you respect the President of the United States and the Constitution.
The American people deserve a fully staffed court of 9.
You're right. You're right. A fully staffed court of 9. That's also important because let's say President Trump goes ahead, nominates, Senate confirms. We've got the 9 justices that they demanded. What do you think their next step is if Biden wins the presidency and the Harris-Biden administration has anything to do with this? They're going to pack the court. They'll go to 15. I'll bet you any amount of money they'll go to 15 and just pack them all with super liberal non-constitutionalists. It's agonizing. And of course, CNN ignores all the Democrat hypocrisy. If they had 1 ounce of decency, fairness, impartiality, they would be talking about both sides doing this.
Yeah, I love how Ted Cruz said over the weekend, look, I mean, you guys have already threatened that this election is going to be determined in court. If it ends up at the Supreme Court, you don't want a 4-4 tie.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep, and then, others are saying, look, if you can impeach a president in an election year, then he can fill a Supreme Court vacancy in an election year.
Yeah.
That's a good point, too.
Yes, it is.
I like it.
AOC took it upon herself to tell us about Ruth Bader Ginsburg's dying wish.
Oh.
Yeah.
I need you to be ready. I need you to be ready. And I need you to be ready to be responsive. And by that, I mean, we don't quite know what the next play is in terms of this issue on the Supreme Court, right? Mitch McConnell sent out a statement tonight. And as I said at the opening, the very last dying wish of RBG was that her vacancy not be filled until the new president takes office in January. That was her dying wish.
Tough.
Tonight, Mitch McConnell,
she doesn't make that
publicly,
determination.
The night of her passing, he couldn't wait 24 hours, issued a statement saying that he was going to give Trump a vote in violation of her dying wish.
In
People
violation
can say how appalling.
of her dying.
People could say this is
pause
horrible.
it for a second. As if her dying wish is now consecrated law.
Well,
it's been entered into the U.S. Constitution. It was her dying wish. You can't go against that.
It's right there in the Good and Plenty clause. Is it not?
It is not.
Oh.
No, it's really not. So it doesn't matter what her dying wish was on this particular issue. What if her dying wish was that we need to ban all guns in the United States? Well, it was Ruth Bader Ginsburg's dying wish. We've got to ban all guns in the United States of America. We can't go forward in a nation where people own guns. So that's just asinine. And the other thing is, I don't believe her in the first place. I don't believe that was Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You could say anything you want. Her family can say anything you want about what her last wish was. We have no idea that's true. What we do have is something that Ruth Bader Ginsburg herself said in 2016.
Oh.
Yeah, check this out. That's been making the rounds on the web.
There it is, right there.
And there it is. Ruth Bader Ginsburg said this in 2016 about Merrick Garland's Supreme Court nomination. That's their job. There's nothing in the Constitution that says the president stops being president in his last year. Nominate a new justice, Mr. President. Oh, there you go.
Okay. Well, all righty. GOP looking to take their victories now because you've seen what being nice gets you.
Exactly.
And I think they've now got the leader of their party that...
He's not going to be nice about it.
No, and you can hide behind him if you want to, Mitch. Whatever.
If that's what you need to do, because we all know Mitch McConnell has no spine. He's got an outer shell, and he just sticks his head out of it from time to time.
Like say, a turtle.
Like a turtle. Exactly like a turtle.
You know,
I got some tweets here. Lefties are constantly disappointed that the right isn't as unhinged as they are.
Bingo.
Right? Saltine American. The leftist in a nutshell. Why couldn't you just do things the way we want? Even dying when we want. Yeah, play the distraught woman who just found out.
You guys! I'm driving in a car, but I just got a notification that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died!
Okay.
Could this year get any worse? Ruth, you just had to make it to 2021!
That's all you had to do. It's your only job.
How inconsiderate of Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah, really. Selfish. It's really selfish of her to go ahead and die right now when it's not 2021 yet. It's unbelievable. All right, from Duct Tape Freak, the full reasoning in 2016 was that the Senate and presidency were split by party, so the people should decide through the election. I'm not crazy about it as an excuse, but there is a subtle difference here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is, but, it's mostly the same thing.
It's fun, right?
It's mostly the same.
It's a fun time.
Yeah, it is. Keystone Pig tweets, we should implement some sort of George Washington's dying wishes. Right. Like no political parties.
Oh, yeah.
No foreign entanglements. Wouldn't those two corrections would help us out an awful lot.
And many times in our history.
And go ahead and honor his precedent that he set, where I only do 2 terms and then I'm done. I could go on the rest of my life. I know you'd keep electing me. I don't want that. This is not royalty. This is not a monarchy. I'm going to step aside. And then we wouldn't have the problems we do in Washington. If we had done just a few things that George Washington wanted us to do and told us would be prudent for us to do, and then actually set the examples for us to do, we'd be a lot better off. But of course, we're not going to do any of those things.